can get these.
I'll call a meeting to order.
Sounds good.
There isn't gonna be any public input, is there?
They will not.
Okay. Remember, I have to go to the planning board meeting.
Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Discuss ideas on ways to promote our cable programming throughout the community.
Yeah. In terms of discussions from the last meeting, there were a lot of good ideas about programming and things to show. You know, she talked about things like smoke detectors and other factors. Like these are all wonderful things, but how do you get the word out to get people to watch those? That's the whole purpose of your question, really. So it really just brings back to that. It's great things to air, to put on the station, but how do you get the word out? So I would take it from the point of view that obviously times have changed, but the Wayback Machine basically says you go to where people look at stuff and you put ads there, or you put something there that they're going to catch their eye while they're looking at something else. And that was all with the newspaper, clearly. But there are no newspapers anymore. Now it's all done electronically. But there are places electronically that people do go, and that's where we typically have to put more of our energy to. I don't know whether there are costs involved in it or not, but there needs to be some way of setting annoying text prompts that come in every so often, or other things that can be done to advertise.
Right. The most active areas that I see are just Facebook, maybe some others, but we have various Grafton-oriented groups on Facebook, and that's where I see stuff. Now, maybe some of the younger people go to some of those others. X/Twitter is of no use, as far as I'm concerned. Although,
well, is there?
Musk will tell you how good it is.
Is there something that the municipal center looks at for things that are going on?
Municipal center looks at?
I'm just saying, is it, for instance, something that people that work in the municipal center look at and to check
I don't
every so
know.
often? Is there something that the students in the high school check relative to activities and things that go on at the high school? In other words, whatever that media is,
You're in
see
charge.
if we can put.
You're in charge.
No, I'm just simply saying, put something
no,
there,
you're-
and they say, oh, that's happening too. So in other words, that they've cut their eye.
Yeah, and someone has to feed those.
Well, the Thomas group, they're the ones that are responsible for the post the ads for the different meeting, right? Because you see it on, you see it on cable. So I think
on cable.
Yeah,
but
who watches cable?
That's true too. Yeah.
Unless you can make it on a major network, you're not gonna.
No, exactly. You're absolutely right. Well, that's one channel anyway. There are still people that watch it, but the majority of the people don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one source. Colleen will be able to help us out with that. So we'll have to wait on the next meeting till she comes in. I mean, I put that spreadsheet together with different ideas, including the one that she had. I sent it to everybody. I don't know if you've seen it, the spreadsheet.
I didn't see that. No.
This was.
Again, I had email trouble over the weekend.
So it was last. I can resend it out. To
May
everybody.
I look at it?
Yeah, absolutely. So those are some of the ideas of some of the groups that we might want to reach out. And since she took a class at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, she's probably going to do it.
Yeah, but these are not necessarily promotions, but more or less things to put on the channel to view.
Right.
And we're looking for how do we tell people about these that are on the channel. So that's the difference. These are great.
No. That's why we'll have to wait till she comes in. She's the one that came up with the idea, so hopefully she'll know the source.
But you get where I'm coming from.
Oh, absolutely. How do people view it? And how do we get people to view it?
Yeah,
So,
it's just a question of a way
get
of
the word out. That's
how you get the word out. That's the key.
Yeah.
And again, the best way that I can see is where people look, where people see, what are they reviewing.
Yep.
We all the meetings of the town are there on the municipal center have to be posted.
Right.
We could post something up there as well. Not too many people actually go to read those,
No, but at least it's
legally we're required
it's a
to do that.
start.
But we can put something there
it's a
too.
start, so we can start with that, and then we'll see where it takes us. So we'll have to table this till,
But who's gonna make this happen? How's this gonna get made to happen?
well, and I, we're gonna take charge of this, so.
Okay, you're in charge.
And then Walter, but Walter, I don't think he's no longer with us, so I'm not sure what the status is.
Ultimately, I consider myself too out of touch with the present technology.
But
to
the
be
goal
able
was
do
for
that
us to
task.
put something together and then present it to all of us, so we know how to proceed, so. So at least we have a list for a start, all right, we have something, and then we'll, the next, I'll try to get in touch with her, and then we'll see if we can get something together for the next meeting.
I've still got a headache from the last, what I did, oh God, trying to watch a meeting on Zoom with a dozen, well, 10.
Several people.
Yeah, women and a couple of guys, all talking at once.
Yeah, that's.
And it's one of these, down at the end of the table, trying to show me on Zoom what's going on. Oh, my head.
Yep.
All right, so, do we have any more on that subject?
No,
It's ongoing.
So let's
It should be
table
on
it.
the-
Yeah,
yeah,
on the
let's
list.
table it for the next meeting. I'll try to get in touch with Colleen.
yeah. How do you two feel about the, meeting materials distribution? What work, stuff comes to me, and what's worked for me for, all these years was to send it out as I got it to
Yeah.
everybody. I got at least one, if not two people objecting to that, though.
No, I don't have any problem.
Was it July or August, or maybe June, July, when we started this?
Yep,
And we happened to have a flood of materials too.
yep.
I think, I don't know, we need Colleen, but I think that's more or less what I have to do. She said, I don't know whether the rest of you saw, I just noticed the email from a while back that she had said that the gal up in the selectman's office, select person's office,
Well, select board.
or the administrator's office, I'm
Oh.
not sure, would put packets together for us. But in this last go around, Will William, the assistant
Yep,
administrator, said no, they can't do that.
right.
Um,
I saw that, yep.
So that's sort of where that is. Minutes, review and approval. Corson
Yes.
submitted 3 sets of minutes.
Right?
They're wonderful. Needs vote, needs vote, needs vote.
Well, no, one of them is, it was already voted upon and approved,
Oh.
provided it had that added. So technically, there's only 2 that we have to
Fine.
vote.
Well, why don't we gotta approve all 3 of them, so at least it's on record.
I've got the 19th, August 19th. Comments, corrections on the latest draft. Oh, that's,
Changes that were done.
oh.
I have what I was marking up.
It's under control.
Yeah.
Draft 2, this is sophisticated.
So
Yes,
I can
yes.
be sure of what's what.
Yeah, well, that's
This is
actually
a
a
draft
good
too.
idea,
Yes, that way you can track your
because,
traceability.
you look back here, somewhere, and maybe you see,
Yeah, no, the other one was draft.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been dealing with a lot of material where it's really hard to fit them together. There's the,
You might wanna rev them up. rev the final one to whatever rev it is. Put a bottom, rev 2, and that's,
Well, I think that's fine.
I
Yeah.
think this is, I think
Across
this is nice, it's easy to, you don't have to edit the text.
no, exactly.
You just tell, although I've never told Word to do this. I'm sure this is Word doing this, right?
It's very
Not
actually easy.
pages.
It's basically called a watermark.
Exactly. And you got
I
different
picked
options.
that up very recently.
What I don't understand is how it ended up writing it all the way across very clearly, but here it had dropouts depending on where the words were. I don't know why it's
And you
changed.
can choose it, whether it's
Yeah.
across,
Yeah, maybe-
horizontal,
maybe there's a setting
vertical.
there.
Well, it
I
depends
messed
on
with.
what was pasted over what,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
guess.
See here, there's
That- I don't
text written over
understand.
here it kind of like
Yeah,
disappears.
well, okay, you can keep this in
It all
the,
depends on the cut and paste, what you cut and pasted.
as to the August 19th meeting, draft minutes, draft two.
Yep.
Are there any corrections or comments?
Nope. I would like to make a motion to approve it as presented today.
And I'll accept it. I'll second it, I mean.
Good. Is there any discussion on the motion?
No discussion.
In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Minutes of September 16th. Draft of draft. Latest minutes. Any comments? Any corrections? Any issues?
Just one correction, Kyle Parisi, you're missing the I on the third page.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I'm
so
sorry.
You can fix that quickly.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
The motion can be with.
Yeah.
With correction.
With the discussed.
Exactly. You can do a search and replace.
Where is that, Carl?
On page 3, on the meeting adjourned.
Oh, I must have been pretty tired. I'm so sorry about that.
No, quite all right. That's the only one that I found. So if you do a search and replace,
No,
search
I
and
don't
update,
have to.
You can just go in and do
I,
it. Okay.
I'll just make note of it that it's missing that.
Yeah, so I make a motion to accept it once the last name is.
With-
Approve it. Approve
With
it.
that one correction.
Yeah,
And, was that a second?
I second that.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted unanimously. Both of those were unanimous.
Great.
Great. All right. Bills. We have all kinds of bills. Does anybody have any issues with any of the bills?
no, I went through, they're all pretty straightforward as far as I'm concerned.
Good. So we don't need to do anything about bills. A lot of bills,
Yes, it was, yes.
Yes.
goodness. I'd be interested in what the bottom line on this is. Pay this amount, $665. We spend a lot of money on electricity, I think.
It went up.
Well, but are we using that much? We're not, this wouldn't have been heating with electricity. Actually, I
It's
don't know.
AC, air
What do
conditioning.
we heat with in here? I've forgotten.
It's been pretty warm, so I think the AC is,
All right, so, we don't need to vote on the bills. We don't have any issue with the bills.
I don't,
True.
I went through it.
Treasurer's report. There being no treasurer,
What,
At the table.
right, here. Access activity report. Somehow I missed looking at this. Town meeting was covered with no requirement. Studio use. Do you see Candy Lavalley telling us about the election?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Well, see, I see these things as part of my YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
She looked okay.
yeah. I voted last week.
Again, though, those things, you've got to have links from the web, basically, to get to those things for people to find them.
Oh, okay.
And some of that could be us. Some of it, like that one, somebody up in town hall should connect that along with whatever other links there are for information about town meeting.
Yeah, I watched the last meeting, which was at the beginning of October,
The
but I don't, what are you referring to? Was it in particular?
no, I'm just saying, like, on like, now, what are you saying you watched?
I watched the Zoom, the actual meeting,
of
their committee
the
meeting
meeting of
of, what do they call themselves? The, I was on that committee years ago. I can't remember right now.
the one that
It's a three committee member plus her. And they discussed the issues
that's
around.
the
I can-
whatever you call
I can tell you in a second. We
that-
look it up quickly.
electors, the election wardens.
It's called something different, but anyway,
My-
that's what I watched.
Yeah, but I think if there's some place on the homepage that they have, the town homepage,
Yes.
if they have something that's talking about the election, they could have a link that says, here's a,
I got you. Yeah, no, I didn't watch that. I just watched
because
it.
hearing someone explain it might be helpful.
Yeah,
Might
yeah.
get some viewership. All right, conference room use. Yeah, we used the room. Veterans advice. I didn't realize, apparently Bob is big with the Veterans Advisory Committee. Bob DeTome.
He is on it, yes.
Huh.
He's been on it for a while.
He
Did you see that new
I
plaque they posted? They
I saw that they were posting.
oh, that sucker weighed 450 pounds. Yeah, it took 6 people to put it up.
And
It's a beautiful plaque.
I looked at the picture of it, but I don't remember what it was, where it was going, or what it was saying.
I think it was an update that they added a couple of names, I'm sure.
Oh. Up in Veterans Hall.
Right next to the right
to the
next to
gym.
the auditorium, the gym. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I've been getting more attention. I've been giving more attention to veteran stuff because I discovered that I could get hearing aids.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
Well,
that?
I'm a veteran.
Exactly.
I'm
So you should.
served 2 years. Well, I didn't know that 2 years was enough to qualify you for
To get it,
as
yeah.
much as apparently it does.
Yeah.
Was that
Now-
First World War, Second World War?
It wasn't even Korea. It was the Vietnam era.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I went on active duty I was assigned and went on active duty just very little before Vietnam started to be an issue. I went on active duty in the middle of '64. I was probably assigned, my assignment was probably determined someplace around, like the beginning of '64. So I got out in the middle of '66.
Yeah.
And so I was busy at Aberdeen Proving Ground, helping headquarters manage the build-up.
Right. My father came in at the end of World War II as an ensign in the Navy. He would have been in his later 90s. So clearly, I understand. I was just
Yeah,
joking about that.
Where did you know where he served?
Not specifically, no.
Okay, overseas.
I'm not sure where he was deployed at one point, but it was very short because the war basically came to an end. So he didn't have to really see that. There was, I didn't see this on your agenda, but there was one thing that was put out, which was talking about cable dying. That
Yeah.
that he sent out.
That's what Walter sent out. Yeah.
Right. It's nothing that we don't already know to some degree that things could come to an end
Yep.
with that. And It's I think the cable companies are getting very desperate. I've had a Spectrum guy show up at my house about 3 times trying to
Really?
get some more business, right?
Yeah.
Trying everything they can to try and sell me. But I think that it's really a function of people's interest, because it's
It's a cost. It's a cost.
there is cost clearly, but it's what is available. And the point is this: is that people could have, in fact, the low end cable for a minimal amount of money.
Yeah.
To take advantage of things like our programming and so forth.
Yep.
But why would they do so? So that comes back to the other one we're promoting and things. So I'm thinking that if you have companies, or sorry, if you have TV stations that are broadcast stations, they're still surviving.
Yep.
Surprisingly, considering all of the other competition that's out there, people
yeah,
still
yeah.
watch their local stations.
Yep.
And many of them are using cable for it, as opposed to trying to have something over the airwaves with an antenna. So there is still an interest in having cable to some degree. But the question is getting the word out and getting people to do that. Now, of course, being a network station, they can advertise all the time.
Yep.
And get promotions on it. But one thing else that I've been thinking in the back of my mind that I've seen, I don't know whether or not if we would look into this possibility, and that is putting up a video screen that would be, say, out on 122 or 140 or something to that effect, that basically would be something that could showing things, events in the town, or different things that do occur, that basically would be a nice 16 by 9 display for whatever you needed to show.
Yeah, well, the town has they call it the e-boards. One's often parked out at the corner, out at the intersection.
I'm talking about something far more.
Yes, but unless you can avoid the need to comply with the sign bylaw, you're in trouble, because electronic signs are only allowed in a background color and one foreground color, black and white, red and blue.
Well, the
Really?
select board and
In the town.
the zoning board can make those exceptions.
No, they can't.
Well, they cannot.
You can't get a variance? You probably can. I don't know.
No, back in '86, when we did the charter, they got rid of use variances because, well, I think a lot of people were getting really, they wanted zoning to mean something.
Exactly.
And there was it was being very easier than you might think to get past
No kidding.
zoning, maybe even get past
Yep, yep.
building. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from back, yeah, it just wasn't as tight back then as it is now.
Yep.
But, yeah, no, use variances went away. Now we have, the planning board has a bunch of things where it can give reliefs on certain things by special permit, typically. This isn't, that's not one of them.
Yep, yep.
Well, I'm thinking that the select board itself can't
No.
override what the planning board does.
It's not a planning board thing, it's in the zoning bylaw.
Okay.
It took a 2/3 vote. Long time ago, in '86. Well, more or less. Yeah, I think the zoning was '86. Charter, right. The zoning and the charter were pretty close to the same in the
Okay.
middle of the '80s. Because that was a turbulent time.
And there was no exception for the town's ability to do these
The
things.
town has
For
an
its- for
ability,
the self of the
or
town.
they claim they do, but one of the reasons the planning board when we were doing preparing the zoning to permit electronic signs, because up until a few years ago, we didn't allow these signs we have out here now. The feeling was that they wanted to minimize distraction for drivers. If you have to focus in on a 16:9 video while you're driving down the road,
That's a problem.
Yeah, well, I think there would have to be some sort of control on that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just as there is on these big, huge billboards, which
Right.
have that. They can't
we
show.
don't have any big, huge billboards.
No, I know that. But I'm saying ones
You
that I
know
have
why?
seen of
You know
146 and other places.
You know why? Because we have a zoning bylaw
Yeah,
that
right,
says you
right,
can't do it.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you had such a billboard, I'll call it that if you want, that you would have something that would be static on it for a few seconds and would change. Select meeting, town meeting, different events that you could quickly read, just like you could with any other signboard. But the signboards we have now are just very small.
Yep.
They're not adequate. They're antiquated in terms of the abilities of what you could do with a nice LED board that you could put up there in an ideal location. And again, I would think, I mean, you corrected me on this, but I would think that the town government has the ability to make exceptions to itself.
Yeah, I think
No, it has to be in the zoning
that'd have to
bylaw.
be amended.
The
yes,
town,
and then approved.
town couldn't go and build a factory in the middle of a residential area just because it's a town.
Right.
Why would the town need a factory?
No, he's saying just.
Well, why does the
manner of
town
speech.
need a fancy sign?
For the purposes of telling the public
Yeah.
at whole and informing the public at whole as to events and other information. For the public
I'm
good.
not quite sure what we can do to advance that thought.
Okay.
Maybe if you want to, I don't know. A board that is bright enough to display 16:9 video at a size. They have one down at in Foxborough.
Oh, I've seen the one. Yeah, it's huge. Right. Yeah, that's a little bit more than I need for size. So,
But it has to be
but-
bright and it has to be big enough to understand and not cheap. And I think we need to build up some enthusiasm.
Well,
for
16:9, of course, is the proportions.
I understand.
You could actually make it 16 feet by 9 feet in terms
I
of its size.
understand that. And it would be just a little bit expensive.
I would say.
But
yeah.
I'm not. If you have something you want to put on the next agenda when the time comes, let me know,
Okay.
and we'll try that.
All right.
All right. Anything else on the access activity report?
No, I'm glad that
Apparently not.
the room F bid process is it's ongoing right now. I guess the guy's back from vacation,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. He's been away for. I don't know what that means, but okay. He's been away.
Yeah.
And so he's working on it. Next meeting date, November 28th. There was a reason why it had to be that. Why was it?
By the way, the committee
The
for the election is called the Board of Registrar.
Hmm?
The committee that meets with Candy is the Board of Registrar.
Registered.
Yeah.
Registers. Yeah. Okay.
What's that is Thanksgiving, November 28th. That's Thanksgiving Day,
It
the 28th of November.
I read.
That's not right.
I read my November. No, I was thinking of 18th.
Okay. All right. So that's a typo.
Yeah, and that's what we
I
have.
have had so much mess with what I've been doing.
That's what we plugged in for the last meeting, November 18th.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
at 7 p.m. Yeah,
Yeah, I got it
that's good.
penciled in here.
Yeah,
But
we're
we'll
good.
just check. Okay,
Do you want to work on December?
not particularly. In December.
'Cause I always like to try and
Okay,
plan.
1, 2, 3, the 16th,
16th's good.
okay,
So
That works.
all right. Apparently, Walter, what's the story? Tell us about Walter.
I don't know. He just called me and he told me that he was resigning, so for personal
really?
reason that he couldn't go into. So I don't know other than that. I don't have any other information.
Well, it doesn't have any effect until he
He said he
submits
submitted.
well, I asked, a couple days ago, I asked the select board, the administrator's office, and they hadn't seen anything.
Yeah, he told me that he gave it to the town manager, so I don't know.
Oh, well.
It's he said, she said, so I don't have any facts at all. So,
Because we need to at least be trying to get someone for the job.
right.
All right.
Well, he's the vice chair,
Well, yeah, okay.
so we need to assign another person for
I
that.
guess I'll have to step up
Well,
at this point. We'll see.
well,
Leave it up to you.
well, I've never missed a meeting. So we might not have to rush.
Yeah.
But I think we need the resignation.
Yeah, he's got to go through that first. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's got to be.
Okay.
It's got to be accepted by the select board before anything can happen.
Yeah, well, he at least has to file it. I think probably it has to be voted, they vote to accept resignations, I guess.
Yep. Yes.
So, there's only one thing left on the agenda.
Make
Motion to adjourn?
I second it.
Yes, that's not debatable. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that is 6:36.
30 seconds.